This is Ready, Set, Renovate, a podcast that delivers renovation, inspiration, and motivates you to put your home beautifying ideas into motion. Daniel Builders builds trust in 5 ways. Connecting with people on an emotional and empathetic level is one of those ways. That's important because renovating your home is filled with emotion, like fear and excitement. We have 2 guests on this episode that help navigate the emotion. John Power is project guide for Daniel Builders, and Mark Martin is a realtor for Keller Williams. These men recognize not every client needs their services. Some should sell their home instead of renovating, while others should stay put and transform their home with a guide, design, build, renovation. Serving their clients' best interests is what matters. So let's get to it. Mark, you're in real estate. What are reasons people get discontent with their home?
I think some of the main reasons that we see that people are moving are life changes. Someone's getting married, someone is having a baby, maybe they have several kids and are running out of room, that kind of thing. Also downsizing because now the kids are out of the house. I think those are really the main reasons that people sell real estate. But we do see sometimes where people have some specifics about a house that just aren't meeting their needs anymore, and pain points where we've lived with it long enough and we've gotten used to it, but it's just getting to a place where, man, now this is just, we got to do something. The pain is greater than how much I like my house.
Are you seeing clients that want to downsize more or create more space in their home through a renovation?
Yeah, I mean, more often than not, it's going to be creating more space. Whether it's, as Mark was saying, they've maybe added children since they've lived in the house, or they've bought the house knowing we need to do something different with this. We just have to buy this particular house because it's the location we need, or it's all that was available, when we were buying a house. So it's usually looking for more space.
Mm-hmm. What are some of those things that you see clients like on the brink of possibly making a bad decision in regards to their home, whether selling it or renovating it?
There's a saying that I try to remember when I'm working with clients is that there's no such thing as a real estate emergency. And I think you can probably take that, any saying like that has some holes in it. But in a lot of ways, if you get into an urgent mindset in real estate, in negotiations, then you're putting yourself in a position of need, and where you're willing to give up some things that you really shouldn't, and you make that decision, and then there's that proverbial buyer's remorse, where people get into a position where, man, I've got to do something, or I have to accept this offer because I'm not getting anything else, and it really is a bad situation for them.
It's like that manufactured desperation.
Exactly.
Do something.
Exactly. And as a professional who's been through the process many times, most people only buy and sell a house every few years, maybe. Some buy a house and just live in it forever. So they don't go through the process as often as we do. Mm-hmm. And so we're able to say, okay, let's take a minute, let's take a deep breath, and here are the facts. You really don't have to take that offer. You really don't have to do something right now because this could lead to some problems down there for you.
Well, when it comes to your home, it's an emotional decision a lot of times. We talk about commercial work versus residential work. Residential is full of emotion. How do you kind of bring people to their senses as you're giving them counsel, John?
We don't, there's no way you could have a crisis and act on that impulsively. Mm-hmm. And with a large scale renovation, there's just too much involved. There's too much time. So it's a little bit different in how we're trying to counsel folks who are, the crisis it's still there, but there's no quick fix if the approach is a renovation. So at that point, usually it depends on a lot, but if someone is in a location where all signs point to, hey, this home values will continue to go up here. I always say, talk to your real estate agent. I say, we're not in that business, so make sure you consult with a real estate agent. But generally, if we give them a projected range of costs, which is part of our process, they usually know whether or not that's a good idea. And at the same time, there are clients who are saying, look, we have very little interest in the sense of a return on investment, which you shouldn't really be why you go after a large scale renovation anyway.
Right. And that's an important distinction you're making there, because it's not that your renovation is seeking a return on investment so much. You do want to be mindful of that. But the type of client that you're seeking out as a design build renovation contractor is a little bit different, right?
That's right. It's going to be for their benefit. They're intending to live there 10, 15, 20 years or just for the rest of their life. And so then, although you certainly want to take into account the financial aspect of it, it's not the primary motivator driver of it.
Now that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. So then when it comes to selling your house or getting your house prepped to sell, what types of investments or renovations do you recommend that would actually help that to happen without causing them to lose a whole lot of money?
Right. We try to help people understand the difference between value and marketability. Like, there are some things that you can do to your house that are going to help it be very marketable. Like, if you fix the carpet, I don't know if it's going to change the value of your house, but you're taking away hindrances. So when someone is going to come and look at their house and they're starting to say, okay, the carpet needs work, I need to paint this, then they're starting in their mind to deduct costs and think, okay, I'm going to have to spend some money when I buy this house. And so what I try to help my clients see is that, no, that may or may not bring value, but that is going to definitely help your house be a little bit more marketable, which may in turn bring you in more money. I don't know if that makes any sense. But that's the kind of approach I try to take, is let's try to remove as many hindrances as possible to the buyers that are going to come and see your house. Now, of course, there are some things that are going to add some value, whether that be, some in certain neighborhoods, some granite countertops in the kitchen, those kind of things, some things that you would add. But if you're putting, a fourth and a fifth bedroom on a house that's in a neighborhood full of 3-bed, 2-bath houses, you may be kind of pricing yourself out of that neighborhood, and it's a very special need. Maybe you have a larger family. There aren't as many families that are out there that need that kind of size. We have a family of 7. We have 5 kids. I've wanted to put an addition on the back of my house, and I've thought about, man, I'm not going to get that return on that. It's just going to be, like you were saying a second ago, if I do that project, it's going to be because it's going to help us, and it's going to be a blessing to our family while my kids are showing the house.
Are there savvy builders or savvy buyers that come in and just say, look, I can envision this house the way I want it, and I'm willing to ask for that at closing, or I'm willing to go to my general contractor and get this the way I want it? Would you still recommend make it as beautiful as you possibly can?
Yes.
Prior to
I think you're appealing to more people. There are people like that. People maybe who have a business like yours and understand what goes into it, say, hey, I can do this. People that are good at contract work. Investors, people that can take something and see the potential in it. But most of your buyers are going to be able to see what they see. Most of your buyers are just, they're not going to be able to, for the most part, people just don't envision what it could be, but they just see what it is. And then they make their decisions based on that.
To you, John, what are some major concerns that people have when they're about to invest a lot of money into their house? Do you see recurring concerns?
So the easiest answer to that is price.
Comes down to price.
That's what's at the forefront of people's minds when they're looking into doing a larger renovation. And the reality is that has to be part of the equation. It's not a non-factor, but at the same time, it can't be. I would encourage anyone who's thinking about doing a large-scale renovation or of any kind is to not make that the primary driving factor. Just because 3 different contractors are giving you 3 different prices, that probably the worst way to make a decision is basing it solely on that. You're going to work with a contractor for a long time. Design takes a while, build takes a while. And so you want to really focus on the same kind of things that you'd want, honestly, in a friend, just someone who you would trust. It is at the end of the day what it comes down to. And that's what should be driving that decision.
That's an excellent point. And sometimes the higher price will cost you less in the long run, right? If you settle for a lower price, you get what you pay for. And
it really could be.
Sometimes that comes back to bite you. There's a lot of good knowledge between the two of these guys. I appreciate y'all taking a minute to talk a little bit about how you approach clients how you approach their homes, and what's ultimately best for them. Thank you.
Sure.
Until next time.
We're delighted you tuned in for today's episode of Ready, Set, Renovate, your guide design build resource. Are you ready for your home to undergo a transformation? We'd love to talk to you about it. Visit us at danielbuilders.com and tell us about the home renovation you envision. In the meantime, subscribe to Ready, Set, Renovate, and we'll keep the renovation inspiration coming.